much, Shannon, for being here with us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're very excited.
So excited.
I feel like we said earlier, like we've been trying to connect. We're new friends.
Yeah.
So the same as you, I'm like, this is going to be my podcast. I'm going to be asking you guys questions.
No, it's so fun. When you start like doing it, you're just like, oh, I have questions. Oh, now I have questions.
Yeah.
So 100%.
And nothing's off limits.
Well, okay. And there's just there's the laugh.
Bitch, I said what I said.
There's the laugh we've all been waiting for. So yeah, I want to start, with your childhood. Can you tell us what that was like? Can you take us through that as early as you can remember?
Just went straight for it, girl.
I did.
Yeah, so I've gotten to the point where I can just be like, have a mom and a dad, an older brother, divorced at 2, raised in the Pacific Northwest. Like, I can kind of go through it bullet points real quick, But it was tumultuous, to say the least. Like, there was a lot of challenges, like a single welfare mom and an older brother. I call my biological dad like a derelict surfer dad. There's so much backstory and depth to that. But I think when I look back at it, I have the ability to say I had a happy childhood despite it all, because my mom utilized the community. So I was always involved in sports. I was always in at the YMCA, but this was in the 80s when all of those programs hadn't been cut yet. So I kind of had everything I needed that my parents couldn't provide for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Nowadays, I had speech therapy. I was every day at YMCA daycare, in swim lessons, in everything that affluent families can provide for their kids now. I actually got that one way or the other before all those programs were cut in the 90s, I think. Or late 90s, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
you
don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah, so he says.
Yeah.
He's 21.
Yeah. So,
25.
what was your earliest memory of you having a passion for fitness? Was it tied to any sort of trauma? Was it an escape?
Yeah, good question. So I always say like this shit is serious. In my business now, I'm like, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm such a successful personal trainer now, because I understand the power of movement and athletics. So, as a little kid, my mom would just say oh, she's just spirited. I was a lot, because I didn't have the structure and the guidance of normal parents, right? In a normal household, there was a lot of trauma and abuse and that kind of stuff. And so my outlet and the values I learned and the community I gained was always through sports. So it was my release, it was my outlet, all that anger, all that fire and passion and emotion, being a little spitfire girl, not really understanding how to direct those emotions. Literally, sports saved my life. So energy wise, sometimes I would cry myself to sleep, because I just had so much energy. I had to release it somehow. So if I couldn't release my energy and my emotions through movement, I was a hot mess.
So did you learn more from your parents or from sports activities, things like that?
I mean, we learn from our parents what not to do oftentimes,
that's
right?
True. Absolutely.
So,
That's true.
Yeah. And I actually have a really healthy mindset on both of my biological parents, because our parents only know what they know.
Totally.
Their parents didn't know about mental health. All this mental health stuff is very new.
Yeah.
Even I'm in the middle of the cutoff. I was born in 83. I turned 40 in 3 months. So it's I've had with and without when it comes to social media, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to computers, smartphones, a lot of different things. So I think I learned so much through sports. I would go to a Christian basketball camp every summer because I wanted to compete. I would flip the Monopoly board over if I didn't win. I was that kid.
So you're competitive.
I'm ridiculously competitive.
Are you a sore loser?
I used to be, John.
Okay, that's
I
a great.
used
No,
to be.
that's good. No, that's good. That's good. No, that's good.
Flip the monopoly.
Right.
Board. I'm
Yeah.
Like, that's,
So,
yeah.
what makes you stop like being a sore loser?
I think age and wisdom and
Okay,
like just knowing like nothing good comes out of
Right.
like being pissed at anybody.
So you're just fucking competitive. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then if
Yeah.
you win, you lose. Whatever.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was your personal relationship like with both of your parents?
So my mom, I look just like her twin. Like, it's crazy, but it's really interesting because, I was a professional model for 20 years, and I think people find me attractive. And
Yes.
sometimes I get hollered at by construction workers on the street.
Yes, that's a good sign.
And it's so interesting because my mom is so unhappy. She's not pretty. She's not beautiful, because I really think beauty radiates from the inside out. And like, if you're happy, you're beautiful. If you're having fun, you're beautiful. If you're standing up tall and you're making contact and you're smiling, like, people find you beautiful. So I had a good relationship with her until we kind of started to develop, my brother and I both started to develop into our own people, and she couldn't control us anymore as little kids. But also, she wasn't like the best mom. Like, I was just talking to my aunt mom. So it's my mom's sister. We call her, my inner circle, we call her my aunt mom. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she's my mom's sister who they took me in when my senior year of high school, but they would always have me and my brother every summer. Like, I call them my parents. So when you guys come to my wedding one day, I'll introduce you to my parents, but it'll be once I get a boyfriend and I get engaged. And
you got plans on the horizon.
Anybody?
That is amazing. Right. Holy shit.
That was amazing.
So yeah, she was cool. We always say, like, if we were to like slip something in her coffee, like, maybe she would be a different person. Like,
So it's like a quick
mental health, something like just switch. Mm-hmm. My real dad is interesting. You would love my real dad. My biological dad is a beast when it comes to plays every instrument, writes, would create newspapers, ran for mayor, discovered surf spots. Like, he's just really creative, anti-establishment, made us think differently, lived in a van, lived in a chicken coop.
Oh, shit.
Just
Are you guys still close?
Yeah, I could call him right now, but that's because I've chosen to not have daddy issues and just to be like, I'm gonna love him as I'm comfortable loving him. There's no skin off of, it's not a big I have so much love in me that I'm able to meet him where he's at. I don't go overboard for him, but like, he lives in this tiny fishing town that I lived in when I was a junior in high school. He lived in a flop house.
A what?
Wait,
Yeah, so I explain it like a trap house, but for white people.
Wait. I'm sorry.
So like
You can
flip flops.
No, close. So this guy was a commercial fisherman. So picture a town, Deadliest Catch. You remember that show?
Yes.
Commercial
Yes,
fisherman,
yes.
mullets, one tooth,
Yeah,
rubber
like-
boots,
yeah.
hoodies, sweatshirts, 2,000 people, one stoplight, 4 taverns, 30 kids in a graduating class.
Just
freaking
very small.
Very small, but very behind the times.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
One black
Yeah.
person, like, in the whole, like, very logger fisherman up in Washington State. So I show up,
Great oysters.
great oysters.
Yeah.
Oh, the seafood, fishermen I was a 17-year-old girl on my own, and I didn't have a car, didn't have money for food. Sometimes I would catch my food in the river. I would babysit. I worked at the coffee shop. I worked construction. I did roofing. I did long line tuna fishing.
How old were you when
I
all
cleaned
this was happening?
hotel rooms.
So you're
I'm
a
not
bad
done.
bitch.
I worked
She's
at
a badass
I worked
bitch.
at the grocery store.
Definition for this right now.
I'm a worker. I am a worker. Like, but so the fishermen would drop off food at the flop house, but it'd be Dungeness crabs, shrimp, oysters. I'd be like, guys, I can't make any more crab, whatever. When I went to Santa Barbara, the exact opposite, the next year, and I'm paying for my seafood, I'm like, oh, I didn't know what I had.
Santa
Yeah.
Barbara's very expensive.
The opposite.
Super
It's the
wealthy.
complete opposite,
Super
yeah.
wealthy.
Royalty,
Yeah.
Oprah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
started, so that's my senior year of high school. We're jumping around. But I started, so I bought the flop house
You bought the flop
I ended
house.
up buying the flop house, but let me explain what a flop house
Yeah, I
is.
was
Yes,
gonna say
yeah,
we
yeah.
have to go back
So
to that.
a flop house is this commercial fisherman bought this house, and it's as much as my car in LA, right? And so it's like 1,200
What's your car in LA?
Mercedes GLC
Oh,
SUV.
shit. There you go.
Bought that shit myself
Yeah,
too.
there you go.
So I'm 17. I'm living in the flop house, and it's a place where everybody can come stay if they need it. You can stay for 1 week. You can stay for almost like a co-op, but not more organic than a co-op. Like you have to contribute to the household. You have to.
I've seen these on TV.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a good thing or a bad
I've
thing.
seen
So
these on
it's
TV
sort of
shows.
like where people go to Europe and where do they stay in the
A hostel,
a hostel
almost like
that.
that, but
It's like
like
that.
more underground and organic, and like there was murals all over the wall and a driftwood
Yeah.
staircase, and I was 17 living on a piece of plywood in the laundry room that was this
shit.
big.
So you didn't have a bed.
I had a futon mattress on a piece of plywood,
Wow.
or a 2x6 or whatever,
Oh my.
4x6 or something.
So like,
Yeah.
how did all that make you feel?
Yeah. What?
So in the moment, I was still happy, joyful, hardworking because I was in survival mode. So I figured since the two people, now that I've been through therapy, the two people that were supposed to love me, make me feel safe, take care of me, never did. I had sports, I had coaches, I had family friends, I had whoever I could find to take care of me. But so what I did was I was just always really nice to everybody, and I worked really hard so that I could stay in the room. So I would get a ride to where I needed to go so I could be on the team. So I think people survive in different ways. Am I going to do drugs and say fuck it all and get pregnant and be like, this is the cards I was dealt? Or am I going to go the other way and be overachieving? So you see a lot of that in like foster kids, and like you could go through these really successful, famous people and be like, they were a foster kid, they were a foster kid, and a lot of people don't know because we overachieve the opposite way. I'm gonna be perfect. So
No excuses.
yeah, and so the people that love me don't leave me, and so everybody loves me like the people that were supposed to love me. I'm gonna be so perfect that everybody loves me.
Did that not add any pressure? Did you ever feel
I think-
overwhelmed?
Great question.
I would like, I wasn't, you're not conscious of it until you do your healing. So I know that I would never allow myself to be not a bad bitch. Nobody ever saw me struggling. Nobody ever saw me cry. Nobody ever saw me break down. Like it took me a lot of years I don't trust easily. Like I have a very small circle, and I've been working on feeling my emotions and having bad days and resting and being still and not having to be the best and do everything,
My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wearing.
Do you want me to tell a joke now?
No,
I used to say
Do you have a good joke?
when I was before I healed, and I'm still healing, of course, but before I healed, I would just like, before I did Titan Games, this show that The Rock did that we can talk about, I would be like, just get new parents like I did. Like, because my aunt,
I
my
like
aunt
that.
and uncle took me in, and people would be like, "What?" Like, they're like, "Those are angels. Like, you are the luckiest human alive. Like, you can't just go get new parents."
Yeah, they always say these are your parents, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
I just
that's
went and got new
interesting. You're
parents.
like, I just got new.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
They're like angels on earth. I was the luckiest person ever. They took me in, and like we still go through things where it's like I don't necessarily feel like I belong or I'm part of the family. It's taken like years and years and years to like have that, to understand they unconditionally love me, because I never had that,
So you're tough. You're a bad bitch.
Yeah. I'm very, very tough, but like I had this glow up when I was like our mutual friend Roger.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the roofer survival, not like do whatever I have to do, Shannon. He only knows the like successful LA glam Shannon.
Yeah, because I'm kind of stuck on the roofer.
I'll tell you that story.
I mean, I'm trying to think of it practically, how you find those jobs at that age.
It's 2,000 people. I knew everybody because I was Decker's daughter.
But did you have those skills already, or you just said,
Oh,
sure,
girl.
I can do it?
Girl, this is how I've gotten like so far in my life. I enthusiastically will work. I'm coachable, and I'm willing to put in like muscle and effort. and I'll probably have a smile on my face the whole time. So I'm 17, I'm on my own, 16 actually. I'm on my own. I have to figure out how to eat. I have to figure out how to get myself to school. I have to figure out how to be a 16-year-old girl.
Wow.
So I'm skateboarding everywhere. I surf. Like, I'm just trying to keep up with the boys because that was my community, these like 24-year-old surfer guys. But none of them were inappropriate. I was like the little sister because I was still like...
Yeah, they kind of took you in.
So you were
Yeah.
lucky you had a bunch of cool people around you that...
Yeah, did you feel
Right?
like you were
Right around.
lucky in that sense, or?
No?
I don't know.
I don't know if I was... I don't know if I was... Yeah, of course. I've been... Of course. Yes, of course.
I'm not saying you were lucky in life. I'm saying you were lucky with cool 24-year-old guys that were like, oh, let's take our little sister around.
Yeah, I don't know if they even did it like consciously. I don't know if it was like that. I think it just happened. Like you fall into like how you guys meet your neighbors or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but so I'm like, I gotta eat. So it's like, I need money. And so I was like, where are you guys going? I was like, babysit here and there. And I'm like, where are you guys going? And they're like, we have a roofing job. And I'm like, can I come? And they're like, we need somebody. I'm like, I can do it. And I'm like, yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're like, okay, well, do you have like a hoodie? Like, blah, blah, blah. So I have Vans, like those. I have,
Yeah.
the hard shoes that you
no, listen, this is what happens. I have those Vans on, jeans, and a hoodie.
These are not Vans.
Sorry. That style van. I get it. So
These are D square.
it's like calling them Skechers. I had your Skechers on.
Right, there you go. D square. But that's okay.
So I show up. I'm in the back of the truck with the construction truck. We show up to his house, and before you roof, you rip the old roof off. So this was the ripping of the old roof day. So I'm like, I can't be up on the roof because that's probably a liability, right? And I
Does
also
he have those big nails?
this is clear, I'm Shannon. So I'm 16 years old. I have not had my glow up yet, and so my job is to take everything they throw off the roof, pick it up, and put it in the back of the truck. So they say there's one rule: watch out for nails. I'm like, okay, got it. Yeah, I can do this. So they start ripping the roof off. Very first thing I do.
Get a nail.
Bam. Middle of the foot, this big, straight through it. But you have to remember, I convinced it goes like that. I convinced my older brothers to let me. I was like, yeah, I can do it. There's no way I'm going to tell him first 5 minutes I step on a nail.
That is wild.
I worked until lunchtime. Then I had to look at it. Somebody catches me looking at it. And they said, Shannon, what happened? So then I have to go all the way. 30 minutes is the closest hospital because we're in this rink-a-dink town in the middle of nowhere.
Stitches.
The tetanus shot, the whole
Yeah, I was
thing.
gonna say tetanus
it's rough
shot.
stuff.
Yeah. So I have so many. I have like 25 more
shit.
stories like that. But yeah, I'm a worker.
And they let you back because it had to be impressive that you worked through that.
That was my
lunch.
only day roofing. I retired after.
Oh, shit.
I went on to long line tuna fishing, cleaning hotel rooms at the Shipwreck Motel. So when the commercial fishermen would go out for 3 months, they'd come in, they'd sell their catch.
Oh my God, that's got to be disgusting. You clean those dirty
I
ass
saw
fish,
things
infested rooms.
Yes. Doing drugs, doing girls, doing fish things that no 15-year-old girl should see, with my yellow Walkman, listening to No Effects, learning how to like do the corners on the bed. It was a Shipwreck Motel. It was round, and each room was like a pie.
Oh, that's gotta be. What was the
Wow.
worst thing that you saw, if you can remember, if you can tell?
You know the movie The Hangover?
Of
Yeah.
course.
So when you walk
movie.
in and your eye just goes to so many things like used condoms, drugs, pizza boxes.
What kind
like,
of drugs?
I was 15. I don't know, John.
Oh.
I don't know. Who can even
I'm the
say.
only person I know that I've never done drugs in my life.
That's good for
That's
you.
good.
I've done mushrooms once,
That's
and
a
there was
drug.
I've never.
we pick them in Washington. They're real
That's
mushrooms.
amazing, right.
You make tea out of them. That people
That's
have their
amazing.
families out in the field picking mushrooms. So I decided to do it once. It's there's this thing called storm surf. So the surf is from the storm, so it's wild, and so when it recedes and the storm has passed, there's all this foam from the ocean being churned up. So there was phosphorescence. The one time I do mushrooms, there was phosphorescence in the storm surf foam.
Oh,
so we're on.
You must have flipped out.
I've never had to do them ever because I'm like, you can't top that.
Right? No,
I'm
that's
good.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's like your story.
Wait, so what did that do to you?
When'd you do
You
it?
fucked up?
It was
we're not
just so.
talking about
It
me.
was like magic. Tell
Wait,
me.
don't-
It's like
No.
magic. You might find yourself thinking you're walking on a treadmill
Yeah.
on a flat surface.
One time I was on a horse in Costa Rica looking for black jaguars in the mountains when I was teaching women how to surf. Digest that.
Yeah.
And so we're on, there's
Okay.
on these horses, and we're on the beach, and there's phosphorescent in the sands. So you know phosphorescence, it's like Disney magic in nature.
It's almost like
Sparkles.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So each hoof is just spraying
And it's
sparkles.
coming
Yeah.
out, yeah.
It's wild.
I think that's similar to what you did.
Yeah. I had one mushroom experience, never again.
Tell us.
I was so fucked up. It was our brand party 3 years ago. And my friend gave me a bag of chips.
Yeah.
No,
Which were-
mushrooms.
Where?
You thought
The
he
mushrooms.
thought they were chips.
He ate them.
No,
like they
I
were
knew what they were,
chips.
and I was like, these things are having no. I was sitting with
Oh,
my
you
friend
lost
who's the
your
manager.
mind.
I was like,
Yeah, a
these things are having
gallon-sized freezer
no
bag.
effect on me, and I kept eating them and eating them and eating them. She said my lips
a
turned
bag.
blue. I came out of the back room with the manager, and I thought I was like going like this, walking. I was like,
He
oh,
was like taking the wildest steps you've ever seen.
because I was
And
afraid
he's
to
like-
fall in the water.
He's like, this floor
There's
is
no
moving.
water.
Water was in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm stepping on the rocks right now
Yeah.
so I don't fall in the water. I'm
And then we
what
get
did you do?
home.
My mom was there.
We get
Oh,
home.
gosh.
We get home. I get on the luggage cart
Yeah.
in the middle of Times Square, and
Yeah.
I think I'm on a
Bottomless.
skateboard, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
skateboarding on
Yeah.
the luggage cart.
Yeah, outside.
With underwear on?
She claims that. I don't know.
I said bottomless.
Oh,
Nothing.
Like, bottom was out.
I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, this is not
I
about
wonder
me.
if you guys have ever ran into somebody like as you're out and about eating, and somebody be like, "That's the guy."
The guy. Well, there's. I'm
Multiple
sure it's happened.
stories about that.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
But this is
I'm
not
just-
about
I should've
me.
just had- I'm just gonna have to have.
My drink.
The
Yeah, I
best
know.
part is your
Right.
mom was there.
Okay, so
Yeah, we can't tell
I
the
have.
rest
I
of the story.
have. No, we cannot. Off camera. Going back to your childhood because it's
Yeah.
just so fascinating
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
You were emancipated at 14.
14, yeah. So most people know what emancipation is.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. It's basically when the court tells you that you are allowed to be on your own and you're no longer under the control of your parents. So legally, they have no rights over you. So we're in Bellingham, Washington. My brother had ran away 2 years prior, but I was so good at basketball that in 8th grade they were grooming me to be on the big high school's varsity team. And as a freshman, so kind of preparing to do 4 years, get recruited, go to
Yeah, the whole
college,
thing.
the whole thing. And so I wanted to stay, but things weren't great. And so it's so interesting. People know a lot about emancipation, but they don't understand the process to get there. That's the hard part. So I think when I don't think about it a ton, but like sitting here talking about it, like, yeah, I was emancipated. And then you kind of start moving forward. But now that I've slowed down and started to allow myself to think about my childhood and moments and how it affects me dating now and how it affects my relationships now, it was so hard because there's processes you have to go through in order to get to the emancipation. So that, I think, is more traumatic than the actual emancipation. The actual emancipation, I'm like, cool. Now I don't have to feel, now I'm on my own and let me go survive and do me and get what I wasn't getting from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows why, as a 14-year-old kid, I decided this ain't it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like, how you just wake up one day and you're like, I want to be emancipated.
Yeah, how did you even
No.
know about that?
I think that I don't know. I don't know. I think that I've always been really like spiritually connected and like I've always had this gift of listening to my heart. if you want to say listen to God, listen to your spirit guides, listen to the universe, however you want to phrase it, I've always been really connected. Like my friends will say like, oh, Shannon's being psychic again. No, everybody's psychic. I listen and I act. So if you pop into my head, Ebony, and I'm like, I act on it. I'll text you. I'll be like, hey, mama, just checking in. Everything cool?
Yeah.
Like I do that a lot with my friends, or like sometimes there's big ones where I'll like in my head, I'll hear something. Sienna's pregnant, it's a boy. Sienna's pregnant, it's a boy. Over and over and over again. Finally, I get so sick of it in my head.
That you have
text her, you're pregnant and it's a boy. And she's like, what in the psychic? 3 days ago, we went and got an ultrasound, but you can't tell anybody because nobody knows. I'm like, it's fine. It's just out of my head.
And it's a boy.
Oh, shit.
Like things like that's like my biggest one that I can share, but stuff like that. So I don't have an answer for you guys, but I've always been able to see my life and see what is meant for me and dream big. And each person I meet, I'm like, I didn't even know it was possible to have a podcast and a business and a healthy relationship. Like I love like sponging things up and being like, I want that, but like in the healthiest way.
Yeah.
Not in a competitive way. In a like, oh, I didn't even know that was possible. Because so much of the volunteer work I do is when I was a kid, it's exposure. If I wouldn't have traveled with my basketball team, if I wouldn't have been taken in by this family or given this, I never would have even known what's possible. Because say you're born in a trailer park, you never leave it. Say you're born in the ghetto, you never leave it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel that travel is so important.
Yeah.
but if you don't have the ability, a means for it,
absolutely.
then you're never exposed to what's possible.
That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah, so I think that I just sometimes did things up until 3 years ago where it was such survival mode. I wasn't thinking it through. I was acting. I'm a very in my body physical person, which makes sense. Yeah.
100%, yeah.
But I need to kind of connect my head sometimes, which most people are in their head and they need to connect their body.
So true.
Yeah.
So now let's fast forward a little bit. You're now, let's say 19, 20. Where are you at in life in that time?
Yeah, so I went to 3 different high schools. I end up with my aunt and uncle parents and my brother and sister cousins in the hills of Santa Barbara, so literally next door to Oprah. Salt of the earth people, the most genuine angel humans you will ever come across, took me in my senior year of high school. I hadn't had parental supervision. I'd never been a part of a family. I fucked that all up.
Really?
Go back to graduate Santa Barbara High School.
Wait, how did you mess that up?
Just like abandonment issues, trauma, testing people.
So they would
like,
have rules, and you would just not
didn't want to follow
when you were
them.
supposed to come home.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
Yeah, or just like emotional, and I was good, but I was challenging.
Yeah.
You know, not in a like doing drugs like movie type of way. Like I didn't have sex till I was like 22, 23. Like in a testing way. Was always
Just
testing people and pushing my boundaries.
What is the punishment?
You're gonna leave me anyway, so let me make you leave me. Like yeah. And the kids were Garrett was my little brother was born the year I moved with them, and Gabrielle started. She's like my best friend now. Gabrielle started kindergarten the day I started Santa Barbara High. We're 12 years apart.
Wow.
And so I graduated Santa Barbara High. I was nominated as prom queen.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's hard.
amazing.
That's hard.
That's crazy.
That's hard.
Who starts
In
Santa Barbara
Santa
High?
Barbara?
Yeah, that's hard.
Kudos.
Because I was so nice to everybody.
See,
Well,
it's
I'm
about
sure it was
being
more
nice.
than
It's
that.
Networking.
No.
and
I'm sure it's more
you
than that.
must, yeah.
No,
for
pre-glow
sure.
up.
I
Pre-glow
see these eyes right here. I know it's more than that.
So then...
No, it's the eyes.
It's the eyes.
I know. You guys, I would, like, my friends would try to, like, push me to the front of the line, and I'd be like, no, we have to stand in line with everybody else. I had no idea what I was working with. I was just so fucking nice. If you said you liked my t-shirt, I'd be like, here, take it. Like,
that goes a long way, though.
it does,
that's
because
It
it's not...
really does.
It shouldn't be, but
Yeah.
it's
So
not
are you still
normal.
nice like that?
I am, but I'm a little bit, I'm reformed in a sense where I'm a little bit more cautious of who I go overboard for.
Right. So you're guarded.
A little bit more guarded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm selective.
Yeah,
I'm always
that's
nice to
important,
everybody,
right.
but I'm not ridiculously
Yeah.
like,
Over the top.
I agree. I'm
you
the same way.
sneeze, you need a tissue, and I'm like, I'll be right there. Like,
Run to the store really
yeah,
quick.
I'm like, cover your fucking mouth, you slob.
That's why New York is so funny to me, because every
Yes.
single person's like, you're not from here. I'm like, and I was
No, 'cause
blonde,
you're so
Nice.
just nice and happy.
happy and nice and blonde. So
Yeah.
She gets upset with me because I talk to people in the elevator.
Yeah.
He's an elevator
like-
talker. And he's
I'm like,
so
dude, I like your
awkward.
shoes.
He can't help it.
I
He
talk
just-
to everybody.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a superpower.
Totally.
It
See?
is. It's.
It is.
I
She's like, oh my
always-
God, she cringes.
I do, and I'm like, I go before we go in the elevator. I'm like,
Don't talk
I'm
to
like,
anybody.
please don't say anything to anyone. And then he's standing there, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, fine.
I'm like, I love
I
your
love your
dress.
shoes.
And it
Have
could
you-
be a man or a woman, doesn't matter.
Anybody.
Oh, I'm the same as you.
Yeah, I don't
Have
give a
you
shit.
found that has he rubbed off on you any?
Not in that sense, no. 'cause
Only
I-
sexually.
It's,
I rubbed a few off.
Why didn't I bring tequila down? Because
Yeah,
like, I
I know.
know
Now you need it, right? Right.
goodness.
I told you.
I'm here for it. Give me
Right.
more. I'm like, really?
It surprises
Right.
me. No, he like, I can't. It's just not who I am. But I'm so thankful that he is in my life, because if it weren't for him, I would literally probably not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because
Ever.
he's just so like
Right.
out there. You
My-
know, literally out there.
Yeah, no, in the best way. I'm the same as you. Like yesterday, we went to the hockey game, and I think I talked to
Wait, you went to a hockey game?
yes, your favorite
What game?
Rangers Bruins.
No, preseason.
My first hockey game ever.
No.
And I'm a big sports fan
So why was that your first hockey game?
because on the West Coast, it's not as popular.
Although Vegas won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago.
I don't live in Vegas, but yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Was it not the most fascinating
Yeah, what did you think of
fucking
your first-
sport? No, serious.
So here's the funny story. I'm walking. I'm so blessed. I have a seat on the glass. My first game. Like, who do I think I am? I'm walking. These three guys. I'm walking from the Delta Club to go to my seat. First, I have a winter jacket on, John.
But
It's
it is
cold in
cold
there.
down
It's
there.
not that cold. Nobody
little
else
bit
had a
cold.
jacket on.
Well, no,
It's a
they're
little
used
bit
to it,
cold.
but no, yeah, it is kind of cold. But
Yeah.
winter jacket.
2 pairs of socks, winter jacket.
Well, that's a little much.
I was nervous. I was nervous. I was gonna be cold and it's
Did you
gonna
have
ruin my
gloves on?
time.
Gloves on.
Did you
I
bring like
almost-
a hat with
I
a thing
almost-
over your ears?
I
Earmuffs.
I almost did. Thank God I stopped myself.
Yeah.
Because a bright red winter jacket was a lot.
I have
So then I'm
never
walking.
seen
I'm
that.
walking. I'm like you. I'm like word like friendly of diarrhea.
Right.
So I'm like going by this thing, and these three guys are at the glass here. I'm walking here, and I'm like, hi, it's my first hockey game.
And they're just like, well, the jacket.
Have fun.
let us know.
Yeah, and so I get to my seat, and there's nobody next to me, and this young guy, you could tell he's like from Boston, right, with his girlfriend, and I keep asking questions, and he's so nice. He's like, but I'm kind of just
Oh, so
asking
you
them
don't
out
even
loud.
know, like, you don't understand
I didn't
hockey.
do any research. I don't
Right.
like to Google people or do
No,
research.
but I
like
mean,
to.
you don't.
Hockey,
Do you
you know
understand
hockey.
hockey?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I asked him, I was like, is a power play like a jump ball?
No. But it's a good
I
thing.
said, and then
Yeah.
I said to my girlfriend, I told this story on my Instagram. I said, okay, so we'll switch seats because I wanted them to sit on the glass too. So I said, okay, we'll switch seats after halftime.
There's no
And she
halftime.
was like, she goes, yeah, period. After
Right.
the period. I said,
Right.
yeah, period.
Right.
And she was
Right.
like, no, after
Right.
there's like, yeah, period.
Right.
You're going to
Right.
sit on the glass
Right.
too. She's like,
Right. It took her a while. She still doesn't understand
No,
offside.
Very
there's 3
confusing.
periods
Right.
where I was sitting.
How many minutes in each period?
10?
20.
20.
It's
Yeah.
a
I was
long
gonna say
game.
19. Yeah.
It's a long time.
No,
That's
it's
some endurance.
so
Fucking
good.
so
But they
phenomenal.
play for like a minute and a half max.
Yeah, they change
each
on the
shift.
fly.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
lot. I really liked the skate. There's a lot going on. I really liked the skating part.
Isn't
Yeah.
it insane?
And the hitting.
skill.
There's so
The
much.
talent,
There's
the skill.
so
So
much.
you guys want to hear a
skill.
funny story?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the ties back to my childhood and wanting to compete and having that in me. So and also being almost 40 years old, and I'm playing in my friend's like celebrity charity basketball game at Fordham University.
Yeah,
yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Yeah, I
In New
have.
York.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm new to New York, and I'm
Yeah.
like, sure. So I was watching a hockey game on TV, and my friend used to play, and so I'm watching the game. I'd never watched it on TV, so
You've never even watched the hockey
no, and so
Wow.
I'm screaming. I'm sitting in a chair like this, and I'm screaming at the TV like, "Oh my god!" So excited, like it's and it was a
Yeah.
playoff game, and there was
Yeah.
like it was intense, and I was like, "You're so good!" And so then the next day is the charity basketball game. The aggression and the
Yes.
the amount of
carried
times
over.
Yes.
I was trying to guard 6'6", like
Yeah.
almost 300 men.
Yeah.
I was diving on the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
I was
Wait,
like,
wait, did you just watch a hockey game last night?
I had to
That's
explain
competitive.
after.
What is wrong with you right now?
It was a lot.
It carries over.
Yeah.
The intensity.
Yeah.
It's like when I go to a hockey game and I leave, I'm like, I need to
You wanna-
find a hockey league to play in.
You
Because
should.
I can't run into people on the street. It's just the energy is
Yeah.
insane.
I always wanted to play lacrosse.
Oh, that's like, is that similar?
That's
Wait,
kinda-
or
that's
field
like
hockey or
football.
lacrosse.
So there's a field hockey league right around here. I told you
'Cause you
about that.
We didn't-
Thompson Square
You
Park.
can't tackle people.
No.
I always wanted to do that
That's
because it was so
football.
aggressive, like for females. Like I
So
was
you
always
guys
so
are similar.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
you want to
soccer.
like fuck people up.
Yeah.
Totally.
In the most
100%.
feminine way possible.
Yeah, like if I can still keep my manicure and do that,
Yeah.
perfect.
When we go out, this probably I shouldn't say this story, but when a lot of my friends here in New York, I'm so blessed I have this awesome group of girlfriends. I was really close with one, then I met all of her friends. I just happened to be the one white girl and the one smiley, used to be blonde, like yeah, and so they're all like Dominican, black, mixed, whatever. So we'll all go out. And it's so funny. Every time we go out, it's always you're like me, you're like protective. Like
Totally.
you don't want to be aggressive, but if somebody were to fuck with
Do
somebody you
something,
love,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like I'm the first one to stand up ready to fight.
Yeah, and you would think it would be all the other
Yeah.
girls, but they know that like push comes to shove, they're like Shannon, and I've gotten into it with a couple people just because it's been necessary, and like
Yeah.
out in New York, like they're people are doing things they shouldn't or saying things they shouldn't, so it always ends up
New
being
York
me.
is very vocal.
You're like, let's fucking drop
Yeah,
the gloves.
yeah.
Drop the
Or
gloves. That's
even-
hockey. That's
yeah,
a hockey
I
term.
drop the gloves often,
Right.
even
We're
in
both
Vegas.
that way.
Yeah.
Neither one of us is gonna calm the
Yeah,
other
no,
one
that's
down.
that's a problem. No, that's a
problem.
problem.
If
Right?
something happens with both
No, it
of
is
us,
right.
neither one of us can
Yeah.
look at the situation and be like,
And we have
"Babe,
many
maybe we
stories
shouldn't."
like
And we have
that.
many
Yeah.
stories where
Maybe
we
I-
both just
Yeah.
Maybe I should like.
and we leave the situation. We're like, that was bad.
Yeah.
We're like, that
So
was bad.
so we were doing the. I'll
love
give you
that.
one example. Just popped in mind.
Please.
So we were in the holiday Grand Central Holiday Fair, which is like very prestigious, very difficult to get into.
They're not even gonna allow
like
us back.
30,000. No, I'm not exaggerating. 30,000 people apply, and they let like 38 in, right? So one rule is you can never leave your booth. Never leave your booth unattended.
It needed to have someone
Never,
there all
never. So
times.
both of us are in there.
First day, like
And this
first
guy comes
2
in
hours.
and he's using our mirror to like fix his tie.
for work, and like we're trying to sell to customers.
And the booth is small. It's only like 10 feet long, and he's
like-
taking like half the booth up. And I'm like, and we're patient. And he's doing it for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, dude, I was like, do you mind like moving on? We're actually trying to get our investment in this booth back. So we need to sell something. So can you move on? And he's like, fucking asshole.
I hear it,
Yeah.
and I turn, and I'm like, "What?" And he starts walking away. I'm like,
And
"What
Gloves
the
are
fuck
off.
Did you
Yeah.
say?" And I
She and I run
ran
up on the
after
guy.
him.
Leave the
booth
booth.
is
Leave the booth.
completely
One row.
unattended.
completely the
Anybody
first
could have
day,
stole
anybody could have
anything.
taken- And I run
Yeah.
up to him, and he's
Like,
walking
what the
away, and I
fuck
jump
did
in
you
front of him. I'm like, "What the fuck did you just call
Yeah.
him?" And he's like,
And I'm
then
on the other
John's like,
side.
"What the fuck did you just say to me?" And I was like, "Apologize right now."
Right.
And he's like, "You guys are insane. I'm sorry." And he just walks away, and we look at each other. We're like, everyone's looking.
Yeah, no.
Everyone is like,
And it was a
very
scene. Like, we were
tidy,
screaming.
and we were screaming, and everyone's very tidy, and like their booth is all like pristine and perfect. And we walk back down the aisle, and we're just like,
And like
shit,
sweating
that
and
was
shit.
bad.
Like,
I call that
bad.
yeller's remorse.
Yes. We
Like,
had
so
that.
Well, I don't think we were sorry. We had no remorse. No.
We weren't
No,
sorry,
I don't
but we
think
were
No
like,
remorse.
fuck, let's just act
Fuck,
like
I hope no one stole
saw that or
anything.
stole anything.
Right.
And everyone was just kind of like,
They're like, what the fuck
See,
is wrong
that's
with you
the
guys?
New Yorker in you guys. Like, that's the difference between West Coast and East Coast. And I tend to get along with the crazies because I'm like, just be direct. Just tell me how you feel. Let me know what I'm working with and make my own decisions.
Totally.
In LA, somebody will be so nice to your face, and then you inadvertently hear they were saying horrible things about
so
you.
that's
I hate
really
that.
true.
It's
Yeah.
passive-aggressive.
California.
It's not just California. Listen, I have incredible people in my life in LA. Like, I don't bad people aren't coming to my 7 a.m. spin class, or like, there's amazing human beings anywhere you are, and there's assholes anywhere you are. But the general culture is more passive and less direct. We'll say it that way.
Okay.
Like, and everybody in LA is trying to be something and do something. So they're going to tell you what you want to hear because
I
you
don't
might
like
be a
that.
connection
Yeah.
to that.
I mean, just if just
That's so
tell me what's
interesting.
up and let's figure it out
I
and then
hear
move
that a
on.
lot on social media and movies, and I'm like, maybe it's not that true. But every
kinda
person that
true.
I meet that has lived there or is from there,
Yeah.
they all have this. They say the same thing.
So then my directness, my New York directness, and my work ethic is a superpower.
Yeah.
Because people like don't get up and work like they do in New York, and they're not nice to people like they genuinely nice. They don't do what they say they're going to. So if you can take that, you can build fast in LA.
Yeah. So you're a grinder.
Yeah.
Wow.
But since I've moved here, I came to New York to slow down. I'm
That's
psycho
an
also.
oxymoron.
So-
That's an oxymoron.
I know.
Completely backwards.
I
'cause
know.
The city is not slow.
I know. I find peace in the chaos. Because in
That's
LA,
cool.
I'm
I could relate to that.
Yeah, I'm energy. I'm the planner. I have such an incredible network. I'm so blessed. But I wanted to do some projects to kind of like step away from the in-person personal training and try to kind of step back in order to leap forward, like working on some other stuff. And
How did you get into training?
oh gosh. So I know it's not a funny story, but so my older brother, the one that passed away, he ended up falling 150 feet in the high camps of Yosemite.
Oh, fuck.
So
Sorry.
he survived. Only thing that he hit was his head. So they did the piece where they take the brain was swelling. So they took the skull apart. He's in a coma for a month. But because of my parents, I'm the one. So I grew up really fast because I was kind of the responsible adult for everybody.
How old were you then?
When that happened, I was 25. And so I'm in Santa Barbara. So I leave everything and I go to Modesto and move into a Motel 6 because he got helivaced out of Yosemite to Modesto, armpit of America.
Yeah,
You don't want to be there, especially not in the summertime, especially not in a Motel 6.
Oh.
So I'm 25. I'm here. I'm in the hospital every day advocating for him. So you want
Right.
people around you that talk to people in elevators. I made friends in that hospital as Miss Eager Beaver. Like, I just figured shit out the same way I figured out, like, I need to get out of here. I need to be emancipated. So I found in the hospital, there's like a public relations person, basically, right? And so I found her. I became friends with her. I'd like bring coffees and show up and go
that's-
say hi. Like, and so then my brother came out of the coma. My aunt and uncle parents were supportive, of course, but with the little kids in Santa Barbara. And so he comes out of the coma, and I figure out, this is so cool. It's your network matters so much. So my uncle dad is a pilot, and they have their partners in a little plane. At the school, one of the kids who the kids went to school with for 6 years, their dad is an ex-fire chief. So I convinced the hospital, because they want us, once you're out of there, we didn't have insurance, we were poor kids. They want to push him out to the next rehab place. Said, no,
Yeah.
wait, give me a chance. They're advocating for him. So we get my uncle dad to bring the plane up with the fire chief. The hospital okays it. I think they were just sick of dealing with me. We transport him to Santa Barbara rehab. First, we have to talk our way into Santa Barbara rehab. There's one bed for Medicare, blah, 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 blah. Like, so we get him in there. And so then I could go back to Santa Barbara. During that time, I'm taking care of my brother. I put myself through college. I'm like
Wow.
older.
Wow.
nannying, babysitting, modeling. Well, I didn't tell anybody that I would model because that's a whole nother podcast where it was before Kardashians, before Instagram. So there was no medium, curvy models. It was all, none of the agencies had sporty, curvy fitness.
Models.
I worked my ass off, but I didn't want to tell anybody that I modeled because they didn't picture models like me. But I worked so much because the industry was hungry for girls that looked healthy and real and girl next door.
Muscle definition.
Yeah. So anyways, so I come back, I'm going to school, and everybody's like, I'm so good with kids. I'm like, it's a gift of mine. And they're like, so I'm going to school to be an elementary school teacher. I did 1 year, 3rd grade, at the little school where my
that's tough
brother and sister did. Loved it. I'm like energy. Kids are like obsessed with me. Everybody calls me the baby whisperer still. So then I'm dating this guy. He's going to USC to be a landscape architect. So my brain, my figure it out brain, I'm like, well, I could switch to nursing, have more time for modeling, get healthcare for my future family because I was going to marry this guy and have babies by now, and still work with kids. So I applied to nursing school. And just am modeling full-time in LA. Break up with him. Hate nursing school. My brother passes away. A lot of other things happen that are like lowest of the low. I don't want to go back to Santa Barbara. My friends are like, are you coming home? I have this amazing support system, and grief is a motherfucker. And I'm just like, finally hit rock bottom. So then I get offered, through my modeling agency, a spot on a reality show based on indoor cycling. But when my brother passed away, the only thing I had control over was how hard I worked out. I was so lost, and I was in such, like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I'd been surviving and figuring shit out and being like the person.
14.
Yeah,
since
being like
2.
your own parent. You were like parenting yourself.
Yeah,
basically.
and I finally broke. And so they said, if you do the show, you have to move to LA. And I was just still, like, in my grief phase, so I did it. And I was just kind of like blind a little bit. And so I moved to LA. So I have my teaching background. I have my nursing background. I almost made it through nursing school, but I hated it.
Yeah,
and so then I'd been waitressing my whole life, working my whole life. And so after the show finished, we did a 10 or 12 episodes on E! It's embarrassing. It was silly. And
I gotta look up this show.
Oh my God. 1 year on Christmas, I'm sleeping on the couch and I hear my voice and I look up and my little Leo sister is looking. I'm like, turn it off. She had bought every single episode. I was like, I hate you so much. Only sisters would know to do that too.
I watched a lot of reality TV.
Yeah, she loves that shit.
So then I'm like, I saw, exposure. In Santa Barbara, it was nursing. It was being a wife. It was being a lawyer. It was being a dentist. There was no fitness industry. We didn't even have a dedicated spin gym. There was hardly any personal trainers. So when I decided to do that, I saw what was possible. So I was like, I think I'd be good at this because people are starting to ask me to work out. And I was like, you can just come do what I did, because I saw how hard I was pushing myself, because again, that was my release. That was my control, right? And I'd always been just so athletic and so and driven. And so I started teaching spin. I separated myself from the show when it finished, started teaching spin. I would play there was no rules. It wasn't Soul Cycle. I would play the nastiest, grittiest, deep cut hip hop. No funny business.
I love it.
Everybody else was playing Britney. They were gay. They were muscles. They were looking at themselves in the mirror. I was like, it's not that serious. Work hard. Get in, get out. Go about your business.
Little Kim.
Yeah.
I played.
Love Little Kim.
Before Travis Scott was Travis Scott, I did a Travis Scott ride because one of my riders came to me and gave me the music. So I did that, and then people started coming up to me from spin and saying like, how do I get abs like that? Or how, so I would,
for sure.
I just would grind. Yeah. I would just grind, teach 8 spin classes a week, train, just start trying, drive all over LA. Can I train you? Can I train you? Can I train you? Then $75 to $100 to $150 to eventually 7-8 years later, my own gym in my own house. The clients don't stop coming. Celebrities.
Can you talk about the celebrities?
Yeah.
Can you name any names?
Sure, yeah. So I have to give credit where credit's due. I had my own business, and I would train. Who to train? Dennis Haysver is a good friend of mine and a longtime client. He's the Allstate guy. And,
we met him.
Amazing.
We met him.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salt of the Earth. One of my best friends.
So
Incredible actor.
We're in this club.
Dennis was in a
club.
club.
Yes, because Was, who is the doorman at Little Sister, was performing. He's in a band.
Okay.
And then this guy.
Oh yeah, he likes live music.
Yes, this guy's down there, and
yeah.
he's like, "That's the Allstate guy." I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" And then I see him, I'm like, "Oh shit, the guy that goes to Windchills."
Yeah.
I came
that's
up to
my
him,
boy.
said hello. He was so fucking nice. What a
nice.
small world.
Yeah, so all of my celebrities, Jordana Brewster is a good friend of mine, and from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I train John Mayer. I train Pusha T. I train, sometimes it's like I'm so unaffected by it, I forget it. But what I would do also is Harley Pasternak is a really big celebrity trainer. So Gunnar Peterson, and Jillian Michaels are like the kind of like top tier.
You used to watch Julie Michaels or whatever.
Gunnar Peterson also.
Oh, one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up, Harley had, 3 or 4 trainers under him. So I trained a lot of celebrities through him because he's really well known in the industry. Actors, singers. For me, I train Pink Panthers, with Ice Spice.
Oh, yeah.
That boy's a liar.
Yes.
She's amazing. A lot of up-and-coming singers because my friends, all of us are starting to get into positions at our age within, our separate careers. So a lot of my friends are in A&R and in the music industry, so they would send me.
Their clients.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Yeah, so it's all word of mouth. It's all reputation. It's all energy. And in LA, I've noticed there's a lot of trainers, but there's not a lot of good trainers. There's a lot of people doing it to a means to the end until I get this big role, until I meet this guy, until they don't have a passion for it like I do.
Yeah.
In New York, there's a lot of good trainers, and I'm gonna get in trouble. They're not lazy, but it's like they're like convenience. Like they don't want to be going up and down and here into this place. They all kind of stick to their
borough
area.
Yeah, that's very New
their
York.
neighborhood.
Well, it's like you finding a hairstylist.
Yeah, but that's like I think the culture of New York though.
Yeah.
You kind of stay in your there's a lot of people that just stay in their
I've
neighborhood.
been noticing the differences
it's-
between.
Yeah, because we have great public transportation, but there's not that much convenience in terms of driving.
Yeah.
So and every neighborhood has everything that the other neighborhood has. Restaurants, bars, clients, so they just wind up staying there.
Yeah.
But it can make you complacent because you're like, I'm not going.
Yes.
I'm not going to Brooklyn or Queens.
Yeah.
I'll just stay here. Yeah.
Or Staten Island.
Or South.
Have you been to Staten Island?
No, I want to.
Yeah,
I want to take
you
the train
don't.
all
Yeah.
the way.
There's no train there.
There's so many things I want to do.
There's nothing.
There's so many things I want to do. Let me tell you what I
We
have
have
done.
a running joke on that
Let
side.
me tell you what I have done. I've done a lot. I went to
Yeah.
Montreal for the first time. I
That's
went to
cool.
Toronto for the first time. I went to Boston for the playoffs.
I love Boston.
I went to Miami for the playoffs.
Basketball.
I've been to Connecticut. I went to Hudson.
Hudson is so pretty.
I
quaint,
was
Hudson's beautiful.
obsessed.
Isn't it
The
cute?
food. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yeah.
I have been to. I take the ferry to Jersey. I learned how to ride the subway. I learned that the train is the subway and the subway is the train.
It's the same
Right,
thing.
that's
Yes.
I
Have
put
you
my
jumped a turnstile?
never.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I would never.
Right.
But one of my little buddies.
That
that
was a good time though. You could do it. Nothing would happen. So I would try.
And you
it.
don't want to take the Staten Island ferry.
He just has his thing with Staten Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's Jan's Beach? Because I have a crazy story about Jan's Beach.
No idea.
I've never heard of that.
Where's-
Jones
it's
Beach?
Jones
Yes.
Beach.
Jones Beach.
Oh, Jan's Beach.
I was like, damn, that might be in Staten Island. I don't know.
Jan is some woman who's got 88 kids in the backyard.
There was an old lady who lived in
and
a
a
shoe.
pool this big.
That
The
is
shoe was
it.
on Staten Island.
And like
Staten
3
Island.
scoops of sand. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't know.
Jones Beach.
Yeah,
Where is
Jones
that?
Beach is that's Rockaway.
Coney Island.
Rockaway.
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 The great waves,
out.
crazy waves.
So my grandma is 88 to 89, lives by herself. Tough women in our family. And she said her husband, it was like her second husband. So I don't know if it was my mom's dad. We're not sure. But anyways, he raised 4 kids. He was from the East Coast. My family's from the West Coast. And he was a diver. A high diver.
Oh, no way.
That's crazy.
No.
And he, back then at like Rockaway or Coney Island or wherever it is, I have no idea. He was supposed to go to the Olympics, but at that beach, it was like, not a spectacle, but like a show that he would do. And he got paid to go from the high dive, flip in the little.
Be the Olympics.
So then he couldn't go to the Olympics.
He's professional.
Because at Jan Jones Beach,
Yeah.
he was paid to dive into the little
That's
pool
so
for all the
fucking
people
lame.
that would go.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't be.
It's changed now.
That's shit,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Back then, it was a thing. So he said, okay, forget this then. So that's when he went to LA because he was into performing and he had this skill set. So that's when he went to like Redondo, Manhattan Beach and met Grandma Margie and had the 2 boys and raised the 2
they
girls.
started Jan's Beach.
Yeah. And gosh, it's really exclusive. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of it. I'm going there tomorrow on the train. You
That's
can come.
amazing, right?
Yeah. So I need to go to Jones Beach because Grandma Margie found out I was moving to New York suddenly. And she's like, you got to go to Jones.
And
She probably said Jan's, but
there's great concerts there, too.
Yeah.
In the summer.
oh,
There's
really?
Great,
There's so much to do.
There's
Great concerts on the
there's
beach
a lot
there.
to do.
Yeah.
So how did you know that personal training was something that you were going to be successful at when you started?
Good question.
Yeah. That's such a good question. I didn't. It was like everything is in perfect divine timing, right? So like I told you, I started to gain this confidence through modeling. I never knew how people perceived me. I didn't know the power that I have, and I think that you can decide to use your power for good or evil, right? So you have this energy and this influence over people, like, but I never really understood it within myself. So then the modeling, I'd be like, you want to pay me how much to do what? Fine, okay. Like I didn't, I'd be like, so I was always like outworked everybody. I'd show up more prepared. Because I didn't understand why they wanted me to do it, so I had something to prove. So then when I started with the personal training, I just was going to outwork everybody, but I almost didn't do it because it was so cliche. It was like a model and a personal trainer. I didn't want that image because I was like, that's so cheesy,
Yeah.
And in the surfing world, it's like you're humble and you don't sell yourself. And it was just so different than the LA modeling trainer world, because you get clients in LA because of your own physique. Like they're like you wouldn't want to get your hair cut by someone with bad hair.
Well, I say that all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not hiring a trainer who's in worse shape than me.
Yeah,
As
not gonna
knowledgeable
go to
as they are.
Right.
whose nails are horrible,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah,
for
it's just like a human nature
Yeah.
thing. So I just outworked everybody. I was just like enthusiastic. And then as my healing began within that process, I was just my same survival mode. Be nice, work hard. Be nice, work hard. Be nice, work hard. So I wasn't really conscious. I was just kind of going through it, and I loved it so much. I was like, oh, this is like glorified waitressing. I can do this. And I was getting paid, to do something that was so fun. I was like, I get to hang out with my friends in yoga pants. I love the connection to people. It's, when you're waitressing, you guys are at a table. You guys are going to want me to be funny and vivacious and
100%.
whatever.
Yeah.
That person doesn't want to talk. They just want their food. These people have a million questions.
Right.
So personal training is glorified waitressing
That's
and
very
Great way to look
interesting,
at it.
yeah.
and nursing and anatomy combined. It's still a public service.
Yeah.
My job is to make sure if you're my client, you leave feeling better than when you walked in. That's my one job.
That's great.
So you might need stretching and therapy session. You might need your ass kicked.
Right.
You might
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
So the good
So it's
person.
mentally and physically.
Yeah,
Correct.
And you have
Yeah,
to figure
yeah.
out for
Yeah,
each client.
and all these exactly. That's
So you're
my
like
job.
a shrink too, then.
Correct. And a secret keeper. All these celebrities, they're not going to
Yes.
come back to me if they can't trust me.
Yeah.
So
Totally,
I
that
have to
makes
defend.
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like a bartender. Bartenders know all the secrets and
Yeah.
what people's drinks are, their preferences, like,
and all their problems.
Yeah. So I started to realize, like, oh, I'm good at this. Like, and it was hard for me to, like, not be so hard on myself and not be so, like, to not have imposter syndrome and be like,
yeah, like I shouldn't be doing it shouldn't be me.
Correct.
It should be, somebody
yeah,
else, or I don't deserve this.
I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I don't know enough. Like blah blah blah. And then I think with more success comes more confidence, and you just continue to go through the same motion. And all of a sudden, I think I started therapy. I started connecting the dots. I started understanding where those thoughts were coming from.
Yeah.
So then I could kind of switch some in my head, and then I just became better and better because it's more and more experience and more dots connected. So I can sit here and be like, I'm a really good trainer.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it feels good because it's a long time coming, and probably only in the last year and a half, 2 years, I can be like, oh
really?
yeah, you throw anybody at me, like I'm so confident in my ability as a trainer, and it's okay that I don't know every answer to every question or every bone in the body or every muscle in the body. It doesn't matter. I can be taught that. I can find all that information out real quick.
Yeah.
What you have to be good at is connecting to people.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so many questions because I'm fascinated by fitness. I'm not good at fitness, but I'm fascinated
Nobody's
by
good at
it.
fitness.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what are your favorite things about fitness?
My absolute favorite thing about fitness is that it's directly correlated to your life. So if you can conquer you not being good at fitness, if we can get you in a gym session, or if I can get myself on a mountain, whatever it is, I can conquer something in the gym or on a run or on the tennis court or on the basketball court, whatever it is, an athletic feat, then all of a sudden you unlock this door that when you're here in this podcast, you're like, I can do hard things. I can figure out that camera. You're in the store and you're frustrated with a design and you're like, hold on, like I can do this. Like it's directly correlated. So my tagline, I was trying to explain to somebody why I work out so hard. I'm like, it's like for the sanity, not the vanity. The vanity's nice.
I like that.
We all like looking good, but fitness has saved my life and developed me into a human being that I'm proud of because of the mental side of being disciplined, of figuring out a new skill set, of conquering something that you thought you couldn't do, holding the plank an extra 10 seconds when you wanted to die. Like that's my absolute favorite thing about fitness.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and until you get through something like that, you don't understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like even running, I find it so mental. Extremely.
No,
like I want to stop, and I'm like, nope, I don't stop for the 3 miles. I don't stop.
Yeah.
Or at least like the next
whatever
pole.
It is.
And maybe the next pole.
Whatever it is, you challenge yourself. Yeah.
Oh, I'll do crazy shit. Like when I'm working out, I'm psychotic. I'll be like, somebody's gonna die if I stop.
One random person in my head.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do.
Whatever.
Whether it's a cute outfit, a funny thought.
I started to do this thing because I was challenging myself to do 20 minutes on the treadmill. And then as the time got shorter, I was like, okay, you can do anything for 7 minutes. I mean, you can do anything for 3 minutes. Like, because I was like, this is just, you've already done 15 minutes.
So smart of you.
Because I try to look at it. I'm not good at numbers at all.
Same.
At all.
Same.
But for some reason, when I'm working out, that.
I'm like, okay,
this is a 40-minute class. We're going to take it in like 15-minute increments.
You could take it in song increments. That's what
I
do.
Songs.
I do run a song, walk a song.
2 miles. I'm like,
that's
just
2 more songs.
2 more old songs, old hip hop,
5 minute,
new ones, right?
Yeah.
Because now you know what I'm saying.
No, that's a thing. That's such a thing.
Right. I'm like, give me an old hip hop song now, because then I just have to get through 2.
Yeah.
My clients will make fun of me because trainers are notorious for not being able to count.
Really?
Yeah, because we're
didn't know
thinking
that.
about so many other things. I'm thinking about the next move. I'm thinking about their form. I'm thinking about 10 things while you think I'm standing there being silent or being like,
and
good
we're
job.
on number like 15.
And I'm
you're
like 13 because I actually was thinking about, do I want to tell her or should I let her just be, because is it that big of a deal? Am I going to mess up her flow? Like my brain is like
That's so interesting.
going. And so, but when every now and then I'll work out with a client because they come in unmotivated and I have 10 clients that day. So I'll strategically pick somebody, you want me to work out with you? And they're like, yes,
you do
please.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And even though my mom thinks I work out with every single client, by the way, she does not understand. Our parents don't get what we do. But so when they always say when I'm working out with them, I count perfectly because I'm
you're
doing it. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess up my
that's
reps.
Right.
true. Like,
Right.
when you're doing something, the person doing it, I'm like, I'm on number 15. They're like, 3 more.
Right.
I'm like, 3 more puts me. That's one more than what you said
Yeah,
at the beginning.
just so you know.
Right.
But now it makes sense if
Yeah.
you're thinking about so many other
Yeah,
things.
the trust thing where it's like, and then I'll be like 13, like 15. Okay, you're done. All right.
I'm like, no,
Sorry.
I was done 5
Yeah.
reps ago.
What's your favorite workout
Yeah,
Oof.
I like that.
For me or
question.
for my clients?
for you?
So I grew up playing basketball, baseball, swimming, grew up sailing, started doing whatever my brother did, snowboarding, surfing, skating. Then I got into the gym stuff, but I'm not like a traditional gym girl, obviously. And so I really do love weights, like dumbbells and compound movements. And like, I really do love that. But now for my peace of mind, I box because it's so mentally challenging for me. And I gained so much through the mental aspect of not beating myself up for not getting it, for just pushing through when you're exhausted. Like that's my favorite. But then I'll also like do a triathlon for fun.
A what?
A triathlon for fun.
Okay.
Like I'll go out like this. I went out with my girlfriends. There was like a Magic Mike show in LA, and they were like, sent me a DM, do you want to come? I said, yeah. So I told my girlfriends we're going to Magic Mike show, blah, blah. So we're out. I have a couple of drinks, you know. Next morning they see on my Instagram, it's like 5 a.m. I'm in Malibu in
That's
a
wild.
streetwear t-shirt, gold chains, like mesh.
With the guy from Magic Mike.
Yeah, sure. I wish. Here, just drop me off here. I got to do a triathlon real quick.
Yeah.
So then, no, I don't like hot guys. I don't like chisel hot guys, no. And so mesh shorts. And so I would just, I like dad bods.
Okay,
So then,
I gotta get to that.
So then I'll just do the triathlon because it's me versus me. I don't need to train for it. I don't need to tell anybody. I already know how to swim in the ocean. I already know how to ride a bike. I know how to run. So why do I have to train? It's for fun.
That's a grind.
I'm just gonna do. It's so fun to me because I love that feeling of pushing myself. Why hike up the mountain when you can run? Why run when you're like, oh, I wonder what it would feel like to put a 20-pound weight vest on?
I wanted to run with a weight vest.
Do it,
just
girl.
looks so terrified. I feel like I just need to be better at running first.
Yeah, it actually sucks because you
And
can't
then-
leave you can't take it
can't
off.
take it
yeah.
Oh,
Once
shit, I didn't think of
What
that.
are you gonna
Yeah.
do? You're gonna hold
That's
it
a
in your
commitment.
hand and walk. Right, and I see people running with weight vests, and
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's
I
real.
want to try that, but
You
I
get-
know
yeah.
if I want it, you just have to end the run. And
Yeah.
then, fuck.
Do you
know?
guys talk about having babies at all?
A lot of people talk about it for us.
Yeah. People suck, I know.
But it is like
It's like I think
like
that I'm like, oh shit, this is
carrying
what
a
20
baby,
pounds
yeah.
extra pounds feel like. This is no joke. So it motivates me to not
That's
to be so in
interesting.
shape that when that happens for me, that it's like I don't ever want to feel like that out of breath. Like,
yeah. I mean, no, I see it, and I'm like, I'll just stick here with my.
So there's this is I'm not sponsored by these people, but there's a new weight vest, and the brand is called O Morpho, and it's ball bearings in this gorgeous sleek where it doesn't bounce
It
around.
doesn't move,
It's
right?
not the like silver.
Can women wear it?
There's women ones and there's men
Okay.
ones, and then there's clothing too. So when on the days that I travel, it's all these ex Nike execs, and it's this new company. So they did a design with the ball bearings in the pants, so it's like an extra
No way.
4 pounds.
On your legs when you're walking?
So it's sort of like ankle
sit-
weights.
No, it's like it's like a
But
design.
it's this, right, I get
Oh.
it.
It's
so
they're
it looks
I always get
pretty.
I
stopped.
get it.
What are those pants? It looks pretty.
Oh, afterwards I have
Yeah,
to
I'll
look
send you
that
the
up.
link. Yeah, they're cool.
I'm not gonna skip over this because you said that you like dad bods.
Yeah, what
So
the
for people
fuck does that mean?
watching or listening,
You don't
can
know
you
what-
explain?
I don't know.
He said, "What the fuck?"
My friends make fun of me.
What is a dad bod, and then how did you wind up there
I don't know. I
with
think
your body?
thank you. I think that it's not even an ego thing. It's not because it's not because I want somebody to like worship my body or whatever. You're doing great,
But
sweetie.
It was. I just
It's
wasn't
not your fault.
expecting that.
So I have found in my dating life, I was a late bloomer. I had like 3 long relationships, and then I started dating later in life, which I don't hate on that because I feel more in control. Like I'm so confident and nothing phases me, as opposed to like everything's the end of the world when you're younger.
Yes, yeah.
So I found when I started to get my feet underneath me and like realizing that guys thought I looked a certain way or wanted to talk to me, I would find like the hottest guy in the bar, traditionally hottest guy in the bar, like, and he would usually be dumb as rocks, and I would say some funny witty thing and it would just like go over his head. And I have found that I'm really attracted, like it sounds like I'm just saying this because it's what I'm supposed to say, but I'm so attracted to like that unexplainable chemistry and that wit and that banter, or watching somebody do something they're good at, even though you wouldn't find them, or somebody who makes you feel so good, like something that you maybe, or some, like we say that I have no type. Like if I were to call my friend right now and be like, Brittany, tell him what my type is, she would be like, she has no type.
It's just anything.
No, not anything.
So like a good solid beer belly.
Yeah, not like the hard one, but like a little more cushion for the pushing. Like I don't mind.
Now, are they nervous to date you because they see your physique and they're like, "Oh shit, is she gonna make me do 15 push-ups tonight?"
Sometimes people will say that, like on the dating apps and stuff, and I just X them out because it's like,
because you don't.
it's
Get
ego. It shows that they're not. So the underlying denominator for the guys I'm attracted to, I have found, is swag. So you can't confidence, but not the fake LA confidence that can be stripped away from you if you take the car, the job, the title, the connections away. Not that kind of confidence. That quiet, like real confidence. I am so attracted to that.
Do you like a? Okay, I'm trying to visualize your type. Is there a beard? No beard?
Doesn't matter.
Duck Dynasty type style?
No, it does not
or does
matter.
It stop where John's is? Or?
Do they need a sense of humor?
Yeah, so the looks, like literally, I'm telling you, I've dated Mexican, Persian, black, white, like gorgeous, not like unexpected, like da-da-da-da. So I've dated all types in LA, humor, adventure, fun, a zest for life.
So it's more personality.
Yeah.
Than looks.
Do they like food?
Yeah.
Like usually guys with a little bit enjoy their life.
Yeah.
They're not so like about themselves. Like
Yeah,
I like
100%.
people that give back, that like are generous, and not just like with their money, but like with their time, with their energy. Like but in LA, I found myself dating guys that were in one way or the other somehow in the public figure, whether it was an actor or a coach or a whatever, a singer, and that was not working for me. Like no hate and no judgment, and I can deal with it, no problem. I'm actually very well suited for that lifestyle, but I'm like, this isn't working. Let me go to New York and switch it up a little bit. Like there was other reasons, but that played a small factor where I'm like, there's people that are entrepreneurs, lawyers, doctors, like you come across those types more. But in LA, the rooms I was in and at the Laker games and wherever, the places I happened to end up at, I was coming across
that type
the
of
more,
yeah, like a product of your environment situation.
Yeah.
I feel like people are more real in New York.
Yeah, and I'm really looking for that. Like I'm looking to have a partnership and start a family, and like I know what I want, so I'm like, let me see if this helps anything. It's
So those of you guys out there with beer bellies, give her a call. Hit her on the DM.
caviar bellies.
Caviar
Is that a
bellies,
thing?
right. Something. So in terms of dating,
Yeah.
are you on? You're on. You mentioned swiping, so you're on some of the dating apps. What is that like? I don't know. You've never.
I've
Do you
never
wanna
been on
see?
dating app.
I've never even really seen one, but I just know about it because you can't
I
not
used to be
know
on
about
Grindr.
No, you did not. That is for gay guys to find hookups. You don't even know what you're
it.
saying,
Might find
John.
himself
No, I
on
saw
there
a commercial.
one morning
Yeah, it
after
could
being
be.
out.
Yeah,
So this is like
shit happens.
I don't check it very often, but this is
Would you swipe on him?
no.
Okay, so swipe means that you don't want him.
No,
I
it
like
just
your
like means
hoodie.
you did.
Very cute. No,
That's
No.
his tagline.
that's what he said to me. Like it's no. It's
Well, he looks like he has a dad bod. If you go down, the first qualification, But then the jacket kind of threw it off a little bit. It looked like his wife told him to put that jacket on. To be honest,
a lot of people will be like, I can't believe, like, I've never publicly talked about it. I talk about it with my friends because it's like, they'll be like, I can't believe you're on the dating apps. I'm like, I'm proactive. I know what I want. I talk to everybody. I meet people organically. Sometimes I pop on and off of the apps. Like, you have to manifest and you have to have faith, but then you have to go out there and like do the work.
yeah,
you
have to
know?
like try to meet someone.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go through phases, but it's pretty disheartening. And every now and then, like, you meet a good one and it's that connection. But then I know pretty quick. So I
Yeah.
try to meet guys fast. Coffee, a hike, whatever. And then sometimes they'll walk up and I'll be like, fuck my life. Like, let
a
me just-
hike is a commitment. If you don't like the person, what do you say? You're just like,
Totally. So,
I'll take this hike alone.
how many dates before you sleep with someone?
Wow. Well,
We just get right into it.
So, like, you have to remember, I've lived such a untraditional life. So I also approach that with like my relationships and like friendships and dating. So I really believe you cannot fuck up what's for you. So if I end up sleeping, I get like if I drink, I never lose control. But if I drink too much, I'm wild and I'll do things that I probably wouldn't normally. I'd have like a little bit more control. So that's what gets me in trouble if I'm having a wild party night. Then I'll be like, yeah, and do things the next morning. I'm like, I don't have regrets, but I'm like, oh, I probably would have waited longer.
Yeah.
I think it's better to wait longer. I think it's always better to wait and get to know the person because you're still exchanging energy. So that's
I agree.
Yeah, I think nothing, and guys like a chase, and there's so many good things that come from waiting. I have fun, I'm flirty, but I'm not a tease and I'm not a bitch. I'm not like, you have to take me on 10 dates to these
Right,
nice restaurants or whatever.
Right.
But also, I'm almost 40. I'm a grown ass woman. If I want to sleep with somebody,
You
like
should.
I really believe in a fuck buddy.
Yeah.
Because then when I'm going, you guys, this is a trick. When I'm going on dates, I'm no longer talking to these relationship people.
Yes, please.
When I'm going on dates, if you have a fuck buddy, somebody who you're emotionally mature with, you're in control with, you guys are safe, it's a mutual understanding where it's like when you want to sleep with somebody, it's cool. You can like drunk text
hit
them and
'em
sleep
up,
with
yeah.
hit them up. But when you're dating, it keeps you from sleeping with those
The
ones.
wrong people.
Not even the wrong people. It keeps me more like in control of like the guy pursuing me, and I'm not gonna break down and sleep with them too early
Because you
because
have-
I got
Because you
I
have
can
to
go
have
on a
that.
date,
You got a
Yeah.
have
piece
a
on the
great
side.
date,
Yeah.
and then go to
Oh, that's interesting.
Ah.
I feel like
yeah, it's
Does
good.
he have a beer belly?
he can't get over this beer belt. He's never gonna get
She's
over it.
thinking.
He's not.
She's
this one-
thinking.
The fuck buddy doesn't.
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
He's hot. Like I'm really attracted to him. Yeah,
So why not just date him?
Good
it's complicated. It's complicated. I'm in a really unique situation. I look very young. I act very young. Because of my upbringing that we briefly discussed, I feel like I've had to learn everything myself. So I've learned everything the hard way or the long way. So I'm almost like 10 years behind my peers. Like most of my friends are married with 3 kids and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm at like a 34, 35-year-old. Like my business is banging. I got money in the bank. Have good connections, whatever it is, right? So most of my everybody says, what's your age range? I'm like 29 to 52 because
Pretty wide open, yeah.
yeah, because I could go any
Either
way.
way, yes.
So a lot of
Yeah,
like
that makes sense. Yeah.
my people, let's say 35 to 45, a lot of them have been married before. A lot of them have kids. A lot of them are in relationships or getting married. Like, it's not easy to find somebody that you match with when they feel, a lot of guys, until they're ready, it does not matter how perfect I am.
No, the guy has to be ready.
The guy has to be ready.
Otherwise, it does not matter.
It does not matter. Yeah.
I think that's interesting because I'm on social media all the time, and I see both sides, and I see men trying to express that.
Yeah.
And then I also see the women that were like, I just dated him for 5 years, and we didn't get married, and then he got married, and
like
a year,
3 months,
or something, and I'm like,
he wasn't
I'm
ready.
like, something happened in
Yeah.
that 60 days where he was like, you know what, I'm ready, and you're the one that is there.
Yeah.
Guys are very much like, this is in front of me right now and I'm ready.
I say this, you're so spot on, Ebony. It's like men are like taxi cabs, and I would use this analogy before I moved to New York. They can drive around some more without their light on. The second their light comes on,
Whoever's there.
whoever's on the corner, get in.
Right. That they do a quick look. They're
Yeah.
like, checks the
Maybe
boxes.
one passes.
So
maybe
we're pretty
another one's
stupid.
I gotta say, you make
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing.
No,
We're
you're not
simple.
stupid.
No, we're
Yeah.
simple though. Simple. We're simple.
They're more, women can have 8 tabs open, and we're the type where, like, when I ended up buying the flop house, crazy story, and I'm remodeling it, kick everybody out, whatever, I'm remodeling it. Men, like, are just like one thing at a time. Like, let's talk about spray painting the house. And I'm like, no, let's go rent it. My girlfriends come over. They put the babies in the playpen in the front yard. We have that shit done in like 4 hours. On to the next thing. Like, our brains just work differently.
Yeah.
There's 2 books I always recommend to my clients going through it, or my little sisters, you know, like Why Men Love Bitches. That's a very popular one.
I know that one.
And then
You
there's
know it?
one that's less known, is called For Women Only and For Men Only.
Never heard of that.
So men read the men, one woman, blah, blah, blah. And basically, because of my tomboy background, and I was always surrounded by guys because I was always doing sports. And but I was able to be a girl's girl and a guy's girl at the same time. And that's very rare. So like, if you were to come to me, I'd be like, well, maybe he's just thinking this, and give you really good advice instead of like the typical girl would be like, fuck him, you're a queen.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
No, he's, not.
And so this one is like it's written very logically, and she did all these studies of men who were religious, men who were CEOs, all these different ranges of men, and they all had the same answer. So it's explaining the way a guy's brain works for women in a very like digestible way, and then for men the way women's brain works. So you hopefully have less unnecessary argument.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I have a few like spitfire questions about fitness. Surrounding
better get your tequila.
Right, just trends that I see online.
Okay.
And I'm just specifically talking about 2 apps, TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
That's all I'm really on.
Okay.
So the first is weight training better than cardio?
Yes.
Why?
Unequivocally. I think the 2 combined make you superhuman. So don't forget. But you can get cardio from weight training, depending on your exertion and heart rate, all that kind of stuff. But in order to be a healthy senior, you have to weight train for your bones, for your cardiovascular, for your mobility, for your muscle density, like everything. There's just so many benefits that you can't get from anything else. So it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to be a CrossFitter, but everybody should have 2 to 3 days of weight training in their life. It's just a hack.
Okay.
Yeah.
That settles it for me for that one.
Easy, yes.
What age do you think is a good age to start taking fitness seriously outside of, school and having gym class for an hour? Or what age
Good
for
question.
both boys and girls do you think is, without having it attached to, disorders or anything like that? What do you think is
Yeah, that's so cool. I found fitness. I have the funniest story how I found like that. I grew up playing sports, so I always just showed up to and was told what to do and where to go and was part of a team. It was easy. I didn't have to think about it. If you don't play in college and you have that, you have to find it yourself, that discipline and that scheduling, right? And so I think your first couple years of college, if you're not playing sports in college, is a really good time because those are your exploratory years. You're figuring out who you are and what you're about and what you like and don't like. And, even like sexually and just so many things are like, you're literally figuring out who you are. So I think that's a great time to join a sports league, join a soccer team, make friends, figure out what you like, go to the gym. And it's scary and new, but that time I think is you're integrating it as a daily habit, which is the most important thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you choose, whether it's ballet or soccer.
I love ballet.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah. It's not something you have to do in order to look a certain way or you have to do so you can eat this. It's because it makes you feel good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
Yeah.
What are your 3 pieces of advice for women who are in their 40s who are...
Well, I'm not there yet.
Or, but you can see...
As a trainer,
I got
as a trainer.
3
You
more.
said you
Yeah.
if they are overweight or facing obesity, what would be your 3 pieces of advice to just kind of get them started on a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah. I see such a common theme where people think they have to go 0 to 100. So my first out of 3 pieces of advice is it does not have to be the best workout. You literally just say, I'm going to walk from here to that end of that street. And I'm going to do it once a day.
Totally agree.
It like my mom would be like, I can't run a mile. Okay, so walk it.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I like it.
But we get in our head, we have to be the best. No, you just have to do it. And I think that's the ego getting out of the way. 2, I take this for granted. I think nutrition is such a big part of it. And I think we're not honest with ourselves about what we know about nutrition, what our body feels like with what we're eating. I think kind of doing a deep dive and doing a food journal or just kind of like becoming conscious of how you eat, what you eat, when you eat. And I'm not even saying change anything. I'm saying just become aware of your eating habits. That I think people don't do because we're busy. Are you grabbing food? Are you eating your kids the food you're eating? People are just so unaware because we're just like...
They're like an autopilot and they're just...
And like portion
They're not
control.
conscious of
And
it.
Yeah, all of that. I think, and it's like, what do you do when you go to AA? You say, hi, I'm Shannon, and I have a problem. Until you identify it, what are you supposed to do about it? Unless you don't know. So I say, like, the first thing I do when I get a client is have them do a food journal for a week.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's
And they-
so hard to
Everything
do.
that goes in their mouth.
There's so many things that they don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then the psychology part behind it, it's usually not even about anything. It's about, I was sad, so I ate. I was
Yeah.
happy, so I
And
ate.
so how does a food journal work?
You log every single thing you eat. I don't have to know the calories. I don't have to do anything. I just want you to write down
So
Monday.
like 8 a.m. I had whatever.
Woke up, had 4 cups of coffee.
Right. So
Everything
everything that
ingested.
Every single thing.
that is fucking brilliant.
so
I
it creates
love
an
that idea.
awareness
Yeah.
around it before
Yeah.
we even attack the problem.
Yeah. And then once you see something visually, that changes everything. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a
It
great
is.
idea.
Yeah, and then this, I literally just, this, I didn't have a third, it just popped into my head. This might be kind of surface level and cheesy, but I really believe in look good, feel good, do good. So don't be afraid to like,
Feel good, do good.
yeah,
Like that.
don't
I
be
like that.
afraid to like, okay, you're lacking motivation, you're lacking discipline. Don't be afraid to go buy yourself a new outfit, get your new Nikes, whatever you need to do to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
If you, it's like placebo effect. It's like fake it till you make it. If you look official, like you're gonna feel like you belong.
Totally. Like I cannot work out and in it like bright colors.
Yeah.
I need to be in all black
Because you want to look official.
Yeah, it just I tried to work out in these purple running shorts, and the whole time I was just like,
distracted.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I stand out, and I don't want to stand out
Yeah.
when I'm working out.
Yeah, because the gym is scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, no. I was like, I need to be in black. I need to be on the floor or the weights or the machines.
Yeah.
But I cannot be in a bright pink. But I love
Like
seeing
these
it.
shoes.
Like
I work
you.
out in these shoes.
No,
No, I'm kidding. I don't.
Because that'll come once the confidence comes. I'm so confident I could roll up in this and no shoes and be like, yeah, I got to get it in. I forgot my shit. Like, I don't care.
No, that's
because I'm confident.
Some people aren't there. And
So those are my
totally
three.
Get that.
That's great.
Yeah, those are my
Great.
three
I love it.
things.
What are your thoughts on Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy?
Yeah, I might get a little backlash for this, but the flip side of what I'm about to say is that I don't know if I'm answering this based off of what we know about side effects right now. So the only like side effects we're kind of seeing within the industry are like nauseousness and things that are pretty like manageable, right? They're not life threatening. It's just like, okay, if you know, when you're dieting, like you get nauseous because you're hungry,
you're
like,
hungry,
right? And so you get nauseous for a lot of different reasons. So, and I'm sure there's many more side effects. We are not doctors, but I personally think it's not such a horrible thing for the right candidate because I think that it's a kickstart and I talk a lot about confidence, right? It's a kickstart to look in the mirror and be like, oh shit, I've never seen myself like this. Oh shit, I've never felt this light when I'm walking. Like whatever it is that might push them into what you said, John, of it being a lifestyle. If I like it as a Kickstarter, I believe in it a little bit more than a juice cleanse. For some reason, I don't know why, but like it just seems like it makes more sense to me because, you know, it's so scientific, our hunger triggers in our brain, and that's really hard to control. And it's like your brain our bodies are made to survive and to protect us. And so it's going to send us signals that you're hungry or whatever. So, you know, I believe in it for the right candidate who's willing to change their lifestyle, put in the work, and just needs that kickstart.
Mm-hmm. So you believe in it sort of short term?
Yes.
Okay, for the right candidate.
Yes, but like anything's going to get abused. Some people do a little bit of weed here and there to calm down. Some people are raging potheads and can't survive without pot. So any drug is going to be abused depending on what hands it in. It is in. Does it help some people? Yes. Does it hurt some people because they're abusing it? Yes. Mm-hmm. So it can't be this blanket statement. It's a case-by-case thing, you know?
That's really interesting. Cool. I never thought of it that way because I just on social media it's so polarized.
Yeah, because it's the media. They're gonna show you like they're alarmists. They're gonna try to scare you.
Do you have any advice for men in terms of building muscle and endurance and longevity?
People don't talk about that. Actually, talking about Ozempic. The amount of guys that are injecting things and
no way.
And once you start using that shit, you gotta keep using it. Like that's a huge thing. But really? Most men are not eating enough protein.
Totally.
So that it's really fucking simple.
And give us an example of good proteins you should eat.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
Oh, turkey, chicken, like you know.
What do you think of sushi?
I mean, everything. If you're trying to, for all these muscle guys that are like specifically trying to build certain muscles or a certain look, like it comes down to a science. So here's my advice: hire a professional. They will tell you exactly when to eat, exactly what to eat, exactly what body parts to train. So when I train my guys, I have probably like 70-30 guys, 70% female, 30% guys, maybe 60-40. So I train them so differently. You know, we're a lot more time under tension. So like, you know, when the muscles contracted, how long, like the girls just want to.
You say that, yeah.
Yeah. We really break up body parts. We really like have like a back day and a shoulder day and we really break it up as opposed to most of my female clients are doing full body every day. Yeah, cardio. They're trying to. Our bodies are just different. That's what they like. And
guys trying to go heavy.
They want to go heavy. Yeah. So it is different, guys and girls. It depends on what a lot of my guy clients are trying to stay lean, you know, like, so yeah, again, it's.
I feel like if you told someone that the way to get to your fitness goal is to eat more, that's exciting. Or is it really hard?
This is why we're friends, because we love food.
That's the best thing I could ever hear. That you have to eat more beef, chicken, steak. I'm like, okay, all day.
Beans, lentils.
And like, is that not something that they could easily do?
I think we culturally have been conditioned to not eat as much as we're supposed to. It's so counterintuitive, but my friends that are true nutritionists, they go through this thing where the first like 3 weeks you sign up with them, most of my clients are like, I can't eat anymore. Like we have very fast-paced lives. We're very busy. We all forget to eat. I just posted about this on Instagram. I said, unpopular opinion, but most people overtrain and undereat. Because that's what we've been conditioned to do.
Yeah.
Our bodies are machines. Our body needs to like know that we're safe, we're healthy. Where they're pulling energy reserves from matters. So if you're eating enough, it's like, okay, cool, I can start pulling from this fat over here because we're good over here. It's all systems, right?
Yeah.
Not to get too much into the science part of it. So our body's like consistency. So they want you to eat almost like the same thing our bodies, the same thing at the same time. And most people eat like, most females are eating like 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day. That's so little. Like, that's such a calorie deficit, but you want to tell your body you're safe and you're healthy so it doesn't hold on to the fat. Mm-hmm. If you're under eating, it's going to hold on to the fat. So most people, it's like if you start working with nutritionists, they're like, I'm eating so much. All of a sudden, you're as fit as you've ever been.
So how many meals a day do you suggest?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask, do I eat?
No.
My mom will be like, you're eating again? And my little sister sticks up for me. She's like, Mom, she doesn't stop moving all day. She has to do it for energy. Like, think of it as like gas for the car, literally.
Right.
Like,
that's true.
My brain starts to get foggy. Like, walking up steps, I'm like, oh, what's my problem? Like, oh, shit,
I got a headache yesterday, and I was like, what?
Water and food.
It's been 20-something hours. I was like, okay, maybe. But I was fasting, but I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's all connected.
8 and then 45 minutes
what do you think
later.
of fasting?
Yeah, what do you think of fasting?
I think it's, again, just like the Ozempic answer for the right person. It's such a valuable tool. But again, people, going back to something else I said, people are so not conscious of, am I getting a headache when I eat sugar? Am I not? Where's the like intuitive consciousness coming from when it comes to how your body feels, what you're eating, what you're putting into it, when you're putting into it? So for me, I don't do intermittent fasting because I struggle with hormone stuff. I have to work on my regulating my hormones. So for me, it's not good. I need to eat like a Mediterranean diet. I need to eat like salmon and eggs and avocado first thing in the morning and oatmeal and all that stuff. Like,
oatmeal is very controversial.
It is now. It's like goes through all these like.
I mean,
well, it's like eggs. Eat egg whites. Don't eat egg
what
whites.
do you think about oatmeal? There's so much like science behind them being inflammatory and all of this.
I know.
They're very
I've been
controversial.
Seeing this.
Yeah.
I know. They
flipped me out.
I think you have to look at it this way. It's not that fucking serious. If you're hungry in the morning, eating oatmeal is better than sugary cereal with full fat milk. And if it makes you feel good and it gives you energy and you like the taste of it and you like, and you are on a workout regimen, eat the fucking oatmeal. If you hate eggs, eat the oatmeal.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Like overthinking.
Yeah.
So you believe like in a balance, like
So
you have to
much
work out,
so.
you have to eat properly. It goes hand in hand.
That is my whole thing. I live it, I breathe it, I preach it. And I think that's why I have so many clients as a personal trainer, is that they see that I'm balanced. And they see that you can look a certain way, you can live this beautiful, fulfilled life. And like, you were like, do you want a tequila shot? I was like, yes. Like, and people get surprised. But
I
I'm
was
like,
surprised. I was like, she's not gonna have. I was like, she's fitness.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
but
no drinks.
I did 2 workouts today. I went to the hockey game last night. I had
That's not a workout.
I had a big old glass of red
let
wine.
me ask you this. Did you have the fucking burgers in the Delta Lounge. Are
I
they
posted
not?
about them.
They're crack.
Crack.
Totally. Are they not?
I've never had
When
that.
I was at the Nick game,
fucking unbelievable.
when you know what I found out is
I
that
don't know
one
what
of
they
the
put in there.
owners of Nobu, they do the burgers there.
Oh.
I found that out yesterday because I posted. I said these burgers are crack because when I
Wow,
moved
I've
here, I was so blessed to be sitting second row at the Knicks playoff game. But my girlfriend's husband coaches for the Knicks, so
No way.
I went back to Delta Club with them.
Oh,
I
that's
left the guy
nice.
that invited me to the game to go get a burger because
That's a
they're
reasonable
crack.
reason to leave.
Right.
Yeah, I come back. I'm sitting watching the game. One of my friends is a commentator on ESPN. He texts me. He goes, "I see you." I'm like,
shit.
because I was so close to courtside.
Yeah.
I was like, was I eating a burger?
Yeah.
Because I was all
That was me.
yeah. So like, eat the burger, go to the event,
Love it.
get your sleep, wake up, drink water, work out.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it's good. Yeah.
How many days a week do you work out?
5 to 6. Yeah. It's kind of a non-negotiable. I schedule it into my day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've gotten,
I'm so bad with that.
because otherwise, if you don't do it, some days I work out at 8 o'clock. It's my own damn fault, PM.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'll do it after this. I'll do it after that. I'll do it
So
after
you
that.
procrastinate.
We all do.
But you
Yeah, we
still
all
get
do.
it in.
But you have
That's
so much to
good.
do in life. Like,
Yeah.
you got to call this person. You got to do that. And then it's just so much. It's like, you know, and then if you have kids and it's like, you literally have to treat it like a priority and schedule it in.
This is an interesting question. Last question before our last two questions.
Okay.
That's a lot of last questions.
Now that you're on the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
New Yorkers tend to eat later. And what are we,
This is
3
good.
hours ahead of time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call
How
that
do you-
dinner number 2 and
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
How are you going to navigate a social life in New York City where everything is open almost until 4 a.m. and eating is dinner is sometimes at 9 and then you go out?
Yeah. Balance means you don't say yes to everything. If you schedule an early workout, you got to get your ass home and you got to get at least 6 hours of sleep so you show up and you don't waste your time or your money or your trainers or your whatever it is. And then I think in terms of those times where you guys, your job is to be out and to network and to get new clients. So my advice as a trainer would say, be strategic about it. So strategic about what you order, and then what you were saying earlier, portion control. So you don't have to be that awkward person that's like sitting there and like, oh, I'm on a workout regimen, or I'm this. Like, put some stuff on your plate, pick at it. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Nobody's gonna
Nobody really cares.
notice. Yeah. So don't miss out because you're just so stressed out about like throwing yourself off the wagon, but at the same time, you know, stick with the proteins and the veggies and the salads and drink your water and sip your cocktail. Like if I go out, I'll probably have the most fun out of everybody, but I'm drinking water. I'm having one drink. I gave myself a curfew. I'll leave and get my ass home. You know, there's this self-discipline that comes with balance, I think.
Yeah.
And you just have to decide what your boundaries are and then stick to them.
Wow, that's incredible. I like that.
I know that's hard, but go
Very
in with a
hard.
game plan.
Yeah.
So you two are good. You guys are always on the same page, right? So you're like, okay, I
Not
want to get up
always.
and most of the time. I want to get up and run. You tell John, don't let me have more than 3 drinks because you know
we
how I
do that
get.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, so have
he
your
tries with me.
accountability
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, well, you can't get mad at me when we start to get loose. Like,
No, literally
Yeah.
last night, right before we went to sleep, I think he said like 5 times. He was like, well, I'm working out tomorrow. It's going to be my 12th straight day in a row. He's like, and you don't work out. So I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. I was
That's called
in
shaming.
rage. I was like in rage. I was like, are you fucking kidding? I was like, I took a week off because I'm trying to do all this other shit right now. And
For
I'm
our
like,
life.
Right, I'm like, I was like, who's setting up the fucking podcast? He was like, well, I'm going on my 12th day. So I got up today and I was like, fuck.
And
I
you
was
were
like,
complaining the
for
whole time.
him to not
It's like, I'm
say
doing
that,
Peloton.
I was like, I did. It was really hard, but
I know.
I love my Peloton.
it's so good.
I love
Yeah.
it. I fucking love
Yeah, do what you love because you're gonna do it. Pay for a class because you don't want to lose the money.
Yeah,
Whatever. Plan the cute outfit. Meet a friend. If I told you come to boxing, we're new friends. You wouldn't want to disappoint me.
I wouldn't want to disappoint you, but I'm
So
so
my
bad.
last question.
Yeah.
What do you think of a client who comes to you that you're training, right? And they come in and they're like hungover or they're not ready, or I mean, what's your ideal client? That's the question.
I've dealt with it all, John. Like, there's been a couple times where I've like punished them because I'm like, you did this to yourself. Like, that's not cool. Like, I'm not saying I do that all the time, but there's been times where I'm like, this is what I had planned for you, so I'm gonna be that like
This is what's
bad
happening.
cop. Yeah. And there's times where I'm like, go home. Why are you even here? And they're like, oh, thank God. You know, like it just kind of depends on my mood and the client and the situation. If it's my thing is if it becomes a regular thing, then we have a problem.
Right.
I'm giving my time and effort to
Totally.
you. I expect the same. And how you're going to expect me to show up for you when you're not even showing up for yourself?
Yeah.
Totally agree.
You know,
Yeah.
so if it becomes a pattern, then we have a discussion. But if it's a one-off, it's pretty funny usually.
Yeah.
And I'm not a mean trainer. I'm like, you want me to stretch you? You look like you're not okay.
Or do you need
Lay
hair
on
of the
the
dog?
table.
Hair of the
Yeah.
dog.
Oh, I've done that. I have literally done that. Somebody
love
comes in distraught emotionally, that affects their physical. I look right at them, I go, come on, I don't have anybody after you, let's go. Like, we're gonna go walk and get breakfast. Like, I've literally done that before,
Yeah,
but that's what personal training is.
That's
I love
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Last question.
'Kay.
It's just a quick 2-part question.
Okay.
We do spitfire question. We
Okay.
ask every single guest.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with anyone in the history of all time, dead or alive, who would it be? And second, if you could have the contact phone list of anyone in history, dead or alive, present, current, who would it be?
It could be two different people.
2 different people, same person.
I feel like I'm gonna have shit answers for this. These questions. Anybody?
Anybody.
Who's the Egyptian queen?
Cleopatra?
Yeah.
You would have dinner with Cleopatra.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a fucking good. That's a
Always
first.
gonna surprise me.
Me too.
know.
That surprised me
I know.
also.
That was fucking
I'm
good.
so happy.
You know how
knew
like if you
that.
do karaoke, you should have like a karaoke song that you practice in the car over and over
So
and
that
over
you know
again.
for this
Yeah.
moment.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go home and like have the best answer ever
Yeah.
next time.
No, that was good.
was
Cleopatra, because she was ahead of her time, and I'm sure she dealt with like so much stuff. But she's a
I
bad
don't think
bitch.
she had a phone list though.
No, she's not my answer for phone list. I need like a CEO, like who knows, like I feel like he's probably a New Yorker. It's a man. It's gonna come to me any second, and it's like he's not Jay-Z. He's like Chris Paul, not Chris Paul, Rich Paul. He's like a Rich Paul of the world. Like he's like an agent or like a somebody who's like an underground.
Scott Burrows.
Somebody like that everybody knows him, but like you know, like a
Yeah.
Dan, like Rogers, right? Like
Yeah.
a Dan
Yeah.
Fleshman or
Yeah.
somebody where,
It could be him. You want to name him?
yeah, but I feel like Dan would give me a number that I
What do you
needed.
need?
Yeah, somebody like that, like an agent or like I bet Obama's like phone list is pretty crazy.
That's true.
Somebody like that
Okay.
is not like, I'm not so attracted to like the celebrity. I'm like,
Who is
run?
the one that connects?
Yeah.
Right.
Who gets them
That's
in
like me.
everywhere?
That
Yeah.
fires me up.
Yeah.
Like my friend, I know we're done, but like my friend was like, I was there at Harriet's in LA, the rooftop, and he was like, Shannon, I was with all my girlfriends, they're all younger than me, and I'm like team mom, and I like to play in outings, and I'm like, I'm gonna go, and he's like, no, Shannon, don't leave, the Dallas Mavericks just playing, they're coming.
Mark Cuban.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Good answer. That's
There
my
you go.
answer.
I gave you the answer.
Thank you.
You said Dallas
I'm like,
Mavericks, right?
listen, I'm coachable. I told you that.
Right, she is. That's
We
my
came
answer.
up with it together.
That was fucking
That's a
sick.
good one.
Yeah, so they cut. He's like I was like, fine, because he wants all my girlfriends to go talk to them, so they look good. I said fine. So I go over there. I'm putting in my 10 minutes before I can sneak out, and I bring all my girlfriends over, and I'm ingratiating myself and talk. I give no fucks. I'll talk to anybody. I
Yeah.
don't care, because I'm
like
old.
you.
And so one of my best friends to this day, he was like a Mark Cuban on the side. I'm like, who's that? He was like, not, you know, he was like, you could tell wasn't a player, but he was in the mix of all of
Connected,
it.
yeah.
I could have talked to him for forever. Like, or if I'm at like a celebrity's house for a party in LA, I always end up talking to the agent or I'm so fascinated by that world, like the money world, you know. It's my life.
Thank you so much
You guys
for
are
being
the
a guest
best.
on our show. We've had a great time.
Great time.
I got some of my fitness myths answered that I've been dying to ask you since I found out that you were coming on the show. So thank you so much.
You can just text me
Thank
every
you.
day.
I don't want to be annoying, but I'm like,
You're not.
What is this? What is that?
Yeah.
So if you want to tell everyone where they can find you, learn more about you, your socials.
Yeah, so it's Shannon Shape across the board. So SHAPE. Everybody thinks I'm Shannon Sharp. I am not. I am a white girl in a bikini when you search my name.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram. I know I need to be on TikTok more.
Me too.
I'm taking new clients in New York, and
That's amazing.
Yes, all you New Yorkers, especially the guys with beer bellies.
I knew you were gonna say that.
She can get
No.
rid of that.
I don't.
knew
I
it.
don't
Maybe
date,
date you.
No, I know. I'm
don't
a
date
businesswoman. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to date me, don't be my client.
There you
That's
go.
the first things first.
Yeah.
Have
I
a
love
dad
that.
bod and don't be my client.
Yes.
Right.
They're like done and done. I wasn't looking to do that.
Oh God.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
That was great.
Love
Thank
you guys.
That was amazing.